Welcome back, YouTubers, to another edition of Near Mint Condition, where today we talk about the Louisville Arcade Expo, harkening back to the quarter-munching arcade days, pinball games, consoles, and everything you want to play.
That's a lot of talking. I got next.
The real, who's wanting anything but to stay in bed all day, hit the snooze button. I'm thinking of all the different ways that I can play sick, but is it gonna be worth it when it's reflected on my paycheck? I know the duty calls, but Call of Duty calls. Wanna call the workplace and tell them that I've been puking all night, but I'm out of sick time, so I'm up to my tiny little cubicle. Isn't life beautiful? Why can't it be like all those grade school summers? Didn't worry about doing paperwork or crunching numbers. No deadlines to meet, no loopholes to mend, no copies to make, no emails to send. A pocket full of quarters in a room full of screens, in a place where I could live out all my adolescent dreams. Somebody take me to the arcade. I wanna go back to the arcade.
So Rob, I understand you went to an arcade expo.
Yeah.
Explain.
Rob, tell us about it. All about it. You know how we handled the BotCon thing? It's your turn.
Expedition.
Gosh, okay. So I went to this event called the Louisville Arcade Expo, which was
Lax,
which was a expo about arcades in Louisville, Kentucky. We're here with Joe Stiff. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
This is our Luigi person. He's also the reason we do this every year. So tell us a little bit about the Louisville Arcade Expo.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. The Louisville Arcade Expo is a celebration of all things retro gaming. So it's a 3-day event where we try to bring the arcades back to the new generation, or bring memories back to those of us who were lucky enough to have a great time going to the arcade, hearing the bleeps and the bloops of the games, or maybe the sounds of a pinball machine as it ching 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 moved across all the bumpers and whatnot. And you know, this is our 7th year doing it. We have all sorts of 80s nostalgia, awesome, great times. 80s living room with the old console TV setup,
yes.
And the old chair that you as at your grandmother's house, you sat in that, and you just looked up Nintendo. We're about playing games where there's not a 20-minute tutorial. We're talking about you pick up those sticks, you hit the start button, and you're ready to roll. There's no continues, there's no waypoints, check the store points. When it's game over, it's game over.
Louisville Arcade Expo is created by these guys, two guys. One's named Joe Stiff, and the second guy's name is Mario. Well, it's not actually Mario, but when we interviewed him, that's what he told me, so that's what we're going to go with.
Okay.
And what they wanted to do is they wanted to get old school gaming in front of the people, in front of the youth. Where it's really cool to have like a whole bunch of arcade games and consoles and things like that. These guys are collectors. In your basement, you know, to play and then have people come over. That's cool.
Well, it's a very trendy thing at bars too. Like you see a new quote unquote bar and they have a few arcades, and actually some arcades.
A bar arcade, yes.
Right, now some like 16-bit in Columbus or places like that have nothing but arcade games and then a huge bar in the middle. Which you know, that's pretty cool. So it's cool that these things are making a comeback, because you know what? They never should have left.
They never should have left. You're absolutely right. So that is exactly the mentality that these guys have. Like, okay, I want the youth who are used to like Minecraft and save states and things like that to remember the days of us who are in near mint condition, putting in 25 cents and playing as long as we can and putting the high score and seeing how different ways you can spell a cuss word with 3 letters.
So that 25 cents reminds me, I don't know if you guys ever did this, but there was always an 800 number that you could call on the arcade machine saying, hey, this machine swallowed like 75 cents. I would do that once a week at different locations across town. And I was like, and the guys, I remember one time when I called, I said, yeah, the machine took $5.25 from me. And he was like, and the tone in his voice, he was like, the machine took $5. Why are you stupid enough to put that many quarters into the machine? Like 26 quarters. And I was like, I don't know. It is 26, right? I mean, math.
Math is hard.
Oh, no, it's not. It's 21.
21. 5 times 4 is 520, and then
You got it
21.
close. You got it.
Got it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so did you guys ever do that, or am I the only
No,
one?
I was not aware of that
you
whatsoever.
had like this corn husk racket.
So there's vendors, there's cosplay people, there's arcade games, there's now a console section, whereas the console section used to be like a small room. Now it's every console you can think of, even some consoles that gasp, I don't have. Same thing with like, there's like old school PC section, so you can see every Atari that's ever made. All the Apple IIes and all that type of stuff, all these cool things. All over the place, and everything is free to play. So you pay your, I think this year dues were $25. You pay your $25, you walk in, and there's also vendors too, so you can like buy like toys and games and things like that. So you can buy things like, I saw Panzer Dragoon Saga for $650. Oh, let's see. Panzer Dragoon Saga, $649. Better start saving.
So if everything is free, you mean like the arcade games are free? You just
can
go up
play.
and walk
No
up and hit
quarters.
start?
No quarters.
So then what is to stop people with a lack of social graces from saying, I will play this machine and it is mine today.
that actually
No one else will be playing Ninja Gaiden today.
That entirely is a real scenario, and what you try and do is do what you did when you were a kid. Instead of putting your quarter in front,
You put your
fist.
your dick in the breast.
I said dick, you
I
went
said
with fist. Dick over dick. What if you cross streams with somebody else's
Never
dick?
cross the streets.
You go by the size. Oh, that guy's dick is bigger than mine.
You just
I guess I
start
better go
rubbing
second.
your crotch on the person and hope they're not.
Or you get
into
really
it.
close. Like,
You know what? Let's stop talking about that because that's really weird. It's putting a lot of weird.
I
things in
want to
my
play
head.
Donkey Kong. Can I play Donkey
No,
Kong?
seriously, what do you do?
So,
I
no,
got
like,
next.
Okay, you're gonna be the creeper.
People are generally pretty cordial, and you stand in line, and when they lose, the next person comes in. That's generally there's a rotation of things. Like one of the more popular games that was there was a game called Donkey Kong Remix. Donkey Kong Remix, which is the actual original Donkey Kong, except some person went in and changed the levels a little bit, changed a little bit of the design. It
They
was really
homebrewed the arcade
Yes,
cabinet.
they homebrewed. Well, no. Yes, they modified the ROM to the actual. You can buy
Oh,
it
so
as a kit.
it was a MAME cabinet or something.
Oh no! It was a real like Donkey Kong kit, and the dude had burned.
You just
his...
take the board out and you just replace the board essentially with your own.
Yes, like there's an add-on board that a guy created to go on top of your Donkey Kong board, and it's Donkey Kong Remix. And
That
it's really freaking
is
slick.
what's up.
And
That's
like
cool.
he did this a year or so ago, so this is a new thing. So that was there, which was really cool. And then next to it was things like Fix It Felix. Oh look, Fix It Felix Jr. Which is based on obviously Wreck-It Ralph. So there's a lot of cool things, and generally, like I said, people were lined up to play these things, and they would just after you lose, you're try not to be a jerk and let the next person play. Now there were a couple instances where, like for example, they had a game there this year. This is new. The Super Famicom, which is the Japanese Super Nintendo, had a system called the Saddle View, which is essentially games came in from a satellite signal. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Not saddle. I
was like,
Sattel.
Satellite views, games coming in from satellite, and they would air video games like episodic TV.
Were you thinking of like reverse cowgirl?
I'm thinking like,
This is the greatest game to play ever.
The satellite view system went on your Super Famicom, and games were broadcast like television shows. And one of the games that was broadcast was The Legend of Zelda, BS Zelda, and there's another iteration of Zelda. But the one specifically that they had on the show was BS The Legend of Zelda, broadcast satellite Legend of Zelda, which was really cool because normally these games would, after they were broadcast, they were deleted. You would delete them. So the fact that somehow he kept this person in Japan, kept it on the system, never deleted it, and the guys were able to acquire it. It's really cool.
so is this kind of like the Sega Channel for...
You keep going back to Sega Channel, but
my experience.
that's exactly what
Okay.
it is. So
when you're saying they broadcast games, it was that you would receive a game that you could play. It's
Through
not
a
like
satellite
you're just
signal?
watching.
Exactly.
Wow, that is
And they're-
really
and
that
like-
is way ahead of their time. That's
Yeah,
fucking
this is Japan.
Netflix,
And-
dude. Or
and
Redbox.
While you were playing Legend of Zelda, there were like actual voice actors like talking to you and narrating you while you were playing the game. Yeah, it's really freaking dope.
What kind of things for your collection that they had on sale did you see that you were like, man?
Man, I need
Because
more.
my copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga was lost many years ago.
It was on sale at the Louisville Arcade Expo for $650.
That's $600 more than I paid for it. And I'm sure that one is used.
Okay, so some of the things that I saw, and we have awesome footage of this. I'll talk about the consoles that I don't have. As I said before, the saddle view for the Super Famicom, the Laserdisc system where you can actually play Dragon's Lair. Panasonic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they had that with the Mega Drive, which is the Genesis add-on. They had, a whole bunch of like older PC things like Commodore 64s and Apple IIes. They even had like the printing things, so people were like doing paint and printing things out, which is pretty funny. Other things that were in glass were things like the Nintendo 64 DD, which I just very recently acquired one of these myself, but it was cool that people who had never seen one in the flesh could like actually play some of these cool 64 disc drive games that no one had ever even heard of before.
How many disc drive games did they come out with on the 64 DD?
10, and I have 7. But
Cool.
the last remaining ones are hundreds of dollars. And while I spent hundreds of dollars on the system and games, I am not going to spend hundreds of dollars or more on something I barely understand. Yeah. Other things that I saw, custom pinball games, video pinball games where there's actually a screen rather than an actual pinball. Lots of cool like vendors doing art, doing the little 8-bit pixel art things. Mm-hmm. They had gaming contests where you could do a certain game, and they had, for example, one of the games was how fast can you run at World Class Track Meet. Actually, one of our buddies ended up getting second place, and literally it was like an 8-bit bronze coin that they won.
That's cool.
The big competition is the Fire Mario Speed Run, and this is
I've seen those online.
This is interesting. So, if you don't know what a Fire Mario speedrun is, it is where you are trying to get through World 1-1 as fast as possible as Fire Mario. Because lots of people just run through World 1, but you got to be Fire Mario. And one of our friends of the show,
It's tougher than you think.
It sounds really easy, but if you watching these guys do this was insane.
Did you buy anything?
This year I did not. In the previous years, I've done things like I've gotten some Atari 2600 games signed. I've picked up some cool NES swag or some reproduction cards for homebrew. But this year I didn't walk out with anything specifically. I had to buy the Switch the day before.
Yeah.
You had to.
I had to buy the Switch the day before.
Several of them.
Several Switches, and I did not have any money. And I did bring the Switch with me, and I wasn't the only person that brought their Switch with them. So there was a session where we're all playing we were playing 1-2 Switch at the arcade.
Now, did you see anything there that you weren't made aware of beforehand, didn't know exist, or decided that maybe that's something cool that you wanted to add to your collection later?
There was nothing there that that sounds really arrogant when I say this. There's nothing there that I wasn't aware of. As far as consoles are concerned, there are some consoles that I was like, ooh, I should buy this, like the Laserdisc player that I want. I still at some point plan on getting the Laserdisc player. We'll see. I'm sure. Don't tell the wife this; she'll be fine. But what I did not know was things like Donkey Kong Remix. I wasn't expecting to see that in the flesh.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff.
And you interviewed both of the guys, right?
Yeah, I interviewed both guys, and they're really cool guys. And some of these guys, like Joe, I've known for a while. He's actually the reason that I have my Sony PVM. I got that from him. And the last time I was in Japan, I was picking up stuff to make sure to help him complete his collection for this expo. So we try to take collectors, as you well know, try to take care of each other.
I am Mario.
Mario.
Yes, sir.
Mario is one of the co-creators, co-presenters, the reason that we do this year after year after year. So tell me, what does this mean to you?
This means an opportunity to hang out with some of my best friends. We all volunteer for this. We bring it, and so we're actually doing this for you. That's what it means to us. We could have done this in my basement. Not a problem. However, we thought it was something that was willing to be shared with the group, and we thought you guys would really appreciate it. My kids come, your kids come. We play a ton of games. We have some of the most rare stuff that you can possibly find. That type of collection is the reason that we put all this together, so that we can play rare stuff, hang out with fun people, do the things that we enjoy doing that we would have done anyway, but with a bigger audience.
Absolutely. And it's exactly the way I feel about this too. I want the kids to play arcade games, some of the rare things you have, like, oh, I have that, oh, I don't have that. We should make something, right?
That's right.
That's awesome. So thank you again, appreciate it. Thank you, Mario. Thank you for watching. I hope you get a chance to check out the next Louisville Arcade Expo. If you were in this video, you saw yourself, please comment below. Tell me what your favorite games were. So please like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much, and come at me. Challenge me. I dare you.
Reno played the Little Rockin' because they had to sit there and blow it up. And then he sat there and rocked on it.
Maybe I don't see these videos.
Settles you.
Turns out,
Maybe
my
I
view
could
in my
be
head
smoking
is
something.
actually more accurate than what you were talking about.
I was like, what's so funny about Saddleview?